So I've not quite got round to making the kind of 2025 resolutions video and all of this stuff. And that's largely because I wanted to avoid something quite specific. And that is this kind of New Year's early resolution motivation, if that makes any sense. Because what I'm trying to explain to you today, and this is going to be quite an action-oriented video, so kind of go along it step by step with me, is the kind of process that I'm taking into 2025, which I'm hoping is going to kind of organise my life and help me achieve the goals that I want to do. And that's kind of the first point, is rather than resolutions, rather than aiming to complete these kinds of like specific things at the beginnings of our years, what I'm talking about here is identity-driven goals. So this is a key difference. And the reason why is because it avoids many of the pitfalls that resolutions fall into. I mean, resolutions are a problematic thing that happen at the beginning of every year. And what you often see is these kinds of statistics that we all know, I'm sure, that people sign up to gyms and then quit after a few weeks, after a month. People won't stay consistent with what they're trying to do because on the one hand, they've kind of got this early boost of New Year's motivation, but on the other hand, this isn't really an identity-driven goal. You can have these resolutions, I'm going to try and lose this amount of weight, and that is a great thing, but if there's no reason behind that, no why you want to do that, then it's going to fall away quite quickly. So I've got the little book of kind of things that we're going to talk about, and that's kind of the first step. So the first step that I want everyone to go ahead and do is get out a piece of paper or a journal and write down your goals for the year. This isn't resolutions. This is about your identity. I want you to close your eyes for a bit and visualize and think about where you want to be at the end of 2025. Or more importantly, who do you want to be? Think of yourself, your dream image at the end of 2025 and ask yourself what kind of things you need to achieve to get there. So I've said, pick a few categories that you want to set goals for. So the categories I've gone for are, and these are just like a basic few. It's things like fitness or health, finances, relationships, studies, discipline. So take these categories and ask yourself where you'd need to be inside of each of these categories at the end of the year to achieve this kind of dream outcome that you have for yourself. So this is an important thing, is creating an identity of who you want to be. So is this person a disciplined person, a stronger person, a fitter person? Do they have their finances in check? Are they more disciplined? Do they study? And this is what we're trying to achieve. It's not a specific resolution. It's an identity that we're trying to embody, or at least have kind of got near to by the end of the year. So how do we do that? Well, what you need to do now is, after you've got these kind of goals for each specific category, is choose some habits that align with those goals. So for example, fitness, maybe that would be doing exercise every day. Or finances, it might be working towards some sort of side hustle or business every day. Relationships, it might be going on this many dates or trying to talk to this many women, something like this. Studies, it might be studying for X amount of hours every day. Discipline, it might be quitting this bad habit that you've tried to do. And then we talk about this a lot, but there is a habit formation framework that has worked brilliantly for me in the past. And basically this is how you do it. So you choose 6 of these habits that you're going to try and complete based on these goals. And each day you're going to aim to complete 4 out of 6 of them. Why? Because it gives you a bit of room to kind of fail at some of them. It gives you a bit of leeway to say, you know what, today I don't want to do this one, but I'm still going to do the other 4. And also there's this idea of habit categories. So if you notice when I talk about things like fitness or business or finances, whatever, they're very broad categories, and that allows you the flexibility to choose between what you're going to do based on each habit each day, if that makes any sense. And this develops consistency. Consistency is more important than motivation. There's this thing I said on a lecture that we did on the school community. By the way, if you're trying to fast track your self-improvement journey this year, go and join our school community. It's a kind of self-improvement based community where we talk about, well, self-improvement stuff. We do weekly challenges. It's a group of like-minded people on there who are trying to better themselves all together. So go and join that if you're interested. There's a free trial offer on at the moment where you can go and try it for free for a week. But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, what I said in the lecture on 2025 was this. It's more important to do very little each day but very consistently than doing a lot but inconsistently. So to go back to the kind of like general habit, like what did I call them? Habit groups thing. Is say you have exercise as a habit. That means one day you can choose to take a walk. One day you can choose to do a full body workout. One day you can choose to literally get down and do one push-up. But as long as you're completing it to the minimum expected level each day, that is a tick off the list, and you can say, you know what, I've done that today, because you're building that level of consistency. It's important that we do this for most of the days in the year, even to a small level, than it is to do it for only the first couple months of the year, but to a higher level. So this is the important part of creating habits. And then there's a couple other things that I'm going to kind of suggest that we incorporate to help keep track of this identity building process. So what I want you to do is two things. And number one is, once you have those goals for where you want to be at the end of the year, set checkpoints for different points throughout the year to measure your progress against. So say you have a 12-month goal of, I want to be lifting 100 kilograms on the bench. And at the moment I'm doing 60. Maybe a 3-month goal will be 65. Maybe I've picked a bad example here, I don't know exactly how it works, but maybe a 3-month goal would be 65. Maybe a 6-month goal would be 70. And then blah, 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 until you get to that kind of end year goal. But it gives you these dates and set calendar reminders for them where you can check back and see kind of exactly where you are, if you're on track or not. And then the second thing that I like to kind of suggest is something called a weekly review. And this is something we've not talked about for a while on the channel, and it's something that I'm trying to get more consistent with this year as well. But it was this idea that I kind of developed a year ago. And basically it's quite simple. What you do is you pick a few categories that you're interested in. Again, maybe you're going to use the same ones that you're interested in for your yearly goals. And each week you give yourself a score based on how well you performed on that category. So if it's fitness and you went to the gym 5 times out of the week that you were supposed to, you'd give yourself a 10 out of 10. If you went 2 times, you'd give yourself a 4 out of 10, etc, etc. You kind of get the gist of it, how many hours you work, blah, 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 blah. And so you can kind of see each week on a week-by-week basis where you need to kind of direct your efforts to the next week to kind of improve certain categories or bring yourself back on track, or what's faltering, what's doing better. These are the 2 mechanisms that I like to use to kind of measure my progress as I go along throughout the year. So this is the kind of broad strategy that I'm trying to suggest that you take into 2025, instead of these kind of more, I don't know how to even call them, but like resolution-based ideas where you're choosing these big habits that you're trying to incorporate and then they end up failing after 2 months. So very quick video, very casual video, very action-oriented video. So if you want a quick summary of it, the things that I'd suggest you go away and do now are: number one, go and write about the identity that you want to have embodied by the end of 2025. A few categories for different goals that you can set yourself of where you want to be at the end of that. Assign some habits to each of those categories, 6 habits that you'll complete 4 of each day, general habit categories. Then, where are we? Then use checkpoints throughout the year to kind of measure your progress and complete a weekly review. And of course, go and join the School of Life, link in the description for your free week. But yeah, thanks for watching. That was a very kind of chill video, but I thought I had to get something out before people sort of forgot about the new year. So thank you for watching. Manifest excellence, like, subscribe, do all the rest, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.